Aya Wilson just went through one of the most humiliating and perplexing weeks of her entire basketball career. Despite her remarkable achievements, being a four-time WNBA MVP, multiple-time champion, and one of the most dominant players in women's basketball history, she was shockingly left off the roster for Team USA's December training camp. This decision stunned fans, analysts, and players alike, sparking intense debates about what qualities are truly valued in international competition today. What makes this situation even more astonishing and, frankly, almost unbelievable is that Angel Reese, a player with glaring limitations in shooting and finishing, was somehow included in the team's training camp over her. Yes, Angel Reese. The same player who, despite her raw athleticism and hustle, is widely criticized for her inconsistent shooting, especially from close range. Reese's nickname, the Bricklayer, is well-earned, given her tendency to miss routine layups that most high school players make effortlessly. Yet, somehow, USA Basketball saw fit to invite her to the camp, while Wilson, with her decorated career, was left out in the cold. This development has gone beyond a simple roster change. It symbolizes a broader shift in the priorities of USA Basketball, shifting away from pure talent and proven skill toward qualities like character, coachability, adaptability, and leadership. Wilson's public reactions, her social media posts, her bitter comments have become a focal point for discussion, highlighting the evolving standards for what it means to represent your country at the highest level. Aya Wilson had always believed that her credentials and reputation guaranteed her a spot on the national team. Her track record speaks for itself. For MVP awards in the WNBA, multiple championships, all WNBA team selections, and a leadership role that made her one of the faces of women's professional basketball. She walked into the December roster announcement with confidence, expecting her usual spot to be secured without question. Wilson had been an integral part of the USA basketball system for years. She understood the process intimately, dominating the league, and an invitation to the national team is almost automatic. She believed that her international experience, her leadership, and her clutch performances would secure her a seat at the table. But when the roster was announced, Wilson's world was turned upside down. She scrolled through the list of names, expecting to see her own, only to find that her name was nowhere to be found. No call, no explanation, no indication that she was still in consideration. USA Basketball had simply moved on without her, as if she no longer existed in their plans. Her immediate reaction was a mixture of disbelief and outrage. How could the most decorated player in women's basketball be excluded? She felt entitled to her spot, believing her accolades and experience should have earned her a place. She had every reason to think she was a lock. Her international experience, her leadership, her ability to perform under pressure, and her reputation as a game-changer made her a natural choice. But the reality was clear. USA Basketball's decision was based on a different set of criteria. They valued qualities that Wilson, at least in their eyes, was lacking, qualities like humility, adaptability, and professionalism. Wilson's approach to basketball has long been built around her ability to manipulate referees. She is an expert at working the officials, knowing when to complain, when to push boundaries, and how to draw fouls that benefit her in the WNBA, where referees are often more lenient and tend to protect star players. She's mastered the art of getting calls in her favor, leveraging her reputation to influence the game's flow. This strategy, which has served her well in the WNBA, is based on a specific officiating style. The league's refs are familiar with her game, understand her tendencies, and often give her the benefit of the doubt. Wilson knows which officials are more likely to favor her physical style and how to push the right buttons to get those calls. However, international basketball, governed by FIBA rules, is a different universe entirely. The referees in these competitions are trained to call the game more strictly and objectively, focusing on what actually happens rather than reputation or past success. They don't give special treatment to players based on their league accomplishments or MVP awards. They call the game based on the actual contact and rules, without favoritism. Wilson's aggressive style, which relies heavily on initiating contact and expecting fouls, becomes a liability in this setting. She drives hard to the basket, expecting contact and calls that often don't come. She complains after missed calls, acting as if the referees owe her something. But international officials are less inclined to fall for theatrics or to reward aggressive players who depend on referee help. This reliance on external factors, referee favoritism, has been a weakness for Wilson in international competitions, and it's a weakness that USA Basketball's coaches and management have become increasingly aware of. They've watched her struggle when the game is called differently, when the referees are stricter, and when her usual tactics no longer work. Wilson's game is built on her physicality and her ability to draw fouls. She's a relentless driver, a strong post scorer, and a player who thrives when she can initiate contact. But in international play, where the game is called more tightly and fairly, her approach becomes less effective. You can see this in Wilson's gameplay. She drives to the basket expecting a foul, but when the referee doesn't blow the whistle, her scoring diminishes. Her post moves, which often rely on contact, become less reliable. Her drives lose their punch, and her overall offensive efficiency dips. Her ability to finish around the rim, which is a significant part of her game, is compromised because she's no longer getting the favorable calls she's used to. Additionally, Wilson's tendency to complain after missed calls, her referee dependency, becomes a liability. She's accustomed to getting away with certain physical plays or contact, and her reactions often signal frustration or entitlement. But international refs are trained to call the game straight, without favoritism. They don't tolerate players who rely on theatrics or who expect special treatment. This exposes a fundamental flaw in Wilson's game. It's not just about skill, but about external validation. Her success in the WNBA is partly due to the referee's leniency, and when that external support isn't there, her performance drops significantly. USA Basketball's coaches and decision-makers have long been aware of Wilson's struggles in international environments. They've observed how her game changes when the officiating style is different, and they've seen her scores decline and her effectiveness diminish when the game is called more strictly. They've also noted her attitude and professionalism, or lack thereof. Wilson's history of publicly criticizing officiating, undermining teammates, and making media statements that sometimes seem more about self-promotion than team success has been scrutinized. The organization is increasingly emphasizing qualities like humility, resilience, leadership, and respect for the game and teammates. They want players who can handle setbacks gracefully, support their teammates, and embody the values of sportsmanship and professionalism. Wilson's reaction to the roster snub, her social media posts filled with bitterness, her subtle shots at the selection process, only reinforced their decision. Her public meltdown was seen as a sign that she hadn't matured enough to handle disappointment professionally, and her behavior was incompatible with the culture they aimed to promote. This snub could very well mark a turning point for Wilson's international career, at least for now. She's not getting any younger, and her game isn't evolving quickly enough to meet the demands of global competition. Her attitude remains problematic, and her reliance on external validation makes her ill-suited for the evolving standards of USA Basketball. Meanwhile, the organization has shifted its focus toward building a new core of players, those who demonstrate the skills, character, and adaptability necessary for success on the international stage. These include players like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Paige Beckers, and others who exemplify the qualities USA Basketball now values most: humility, work ethic, resilience, and leadership. Caitlin Clark, in particular, has become a symbol of this new era. Her performances in college and the WNBA have generated unprecedented excitement, attracting fans who previously didn't follow women's basketball closely. Clark's game is characterized by her elite skill level, relentless competitiveness, and authentic leadership, qualities that resonate with audiences and critics alike. Clark's impact extends beyond basketball. Her performances have driven merchandise sales, boosted the sport's profile, and inspired a new generation of young athletes. Her authenticity and genuine talent stand in stark contrast to the manufactured controversies and social media stunts that have characterized Reese's approach. Similarly, Aaliyah Boston's developing chemistry with Clark offers hope for the future. Boston's defensive prowess, basketball IQ, and fundamental skills make her an ideal teammate for Clark and a perfect fit for the international game. She's a player who doesn't rely on gimmicks or referee help. Her game is built on solid fundamentals, effort, and smart play. Paige Beckers, who has already achieved international success at the junior level, brings elite talent, composure, and mental toughness. She handles pressure gracefully, never publicly displays frustration, and focuses on continuous growth. Her experience on the world stage and her leadership qualities make her an excellent candidate for future USA teams. Other young stars, like Kate Grimmer, are also emerging as future pillars. These players understand what it takes to succeed internationally and are committed to doing so through hard work and professionalism. The upcoming 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics are expected to showcase this new generation of players. These tournaments will serve as a litmus test for the direction women's basketball is heading, toward a focus on genuine talent, teamwork, and character rather than manufactured hype. Wilson's public meltdown, Reese's social media antics, and the focus on external validation are relics of an older era. The future belongs to the players who can make shots naturally, without referee help, lead with humility, and embody the true spirit of international competition. Wilson's reaction to her exclusion, her social media posts, her subtle digs highlight a fundamental issue: her inability to handle disappointment with maturity. Her reliance on external validation, her need for referee favoritism, and her entitlement to automatic inclusion reveal her shortcomings as a team player and leader. In contrast, players like Clark, Boston, Beckers, and others have demonstrated resilience, humility, and leadership. They accept setbacks as opportunities to improve, support their teammates, and focus on their growth and development. Their performances and character have earned them respect and admiration from coaches, fans, and peers. This shift in focus signifies a broader philosophical change within USA basketball, one that values not just individual talent, but also qualities like adaptability, humility, and leadership. They're building teams that can succeed on the world stage without relying on referees' favoritism or manufactured drama. As these young stars prepare for upcoming international tournaments, the emphasis will be on their basketball IQ, their ability to adapt to different officiating styles, and their capacity to lead by example. The 2026 World Cup and 2028 Olympics will be platforms where this new generation can showcase their skills, character, and resilience. This new era of women's basketball is about authenticity, professionalism, and genuine excellence. It's about players who can handle adversity, perform under pressure, and inspire fans through their talent and character, not through manufactured controversies or social media drama. The recent events surrounding Wilson's exclusion mark a significant turning point. They underscore the importance of evolving beyond old paradigms, moving away from reliance on referee favoritism, entitlement, and hype, and towards a focus on true skill, character, and leadership. Wilson's public meltdown and Reese's manufactured hype serve as reminders of what the sport no longer needs. The future belongs to players who make shots naturally, lead with humility, and embody the values that will carry women's basketball forward: integrity, resilience, teamwork, and genuine talent. The new generation is here, and they are shaping the future of the sport. It's a future rooted in authenticity and excellence, and it's brighter than ever. Fans and players alike can look forward to a game that celebrates true skill and character, where success is earned, and leaders are defined by their integrity, not their social media presence. Aya Wilson's accomplishments on the court are undeniable. She's achieved incredible success, earning 4 MVP awards and leading her team to multiple championships. Her talent and dedication have cemented her status as one of the premier players in women's basketball. However, recent events have highlighted that a player's legacy extends beyond just impressive statistics. It's also about how you conduct yourself, how you respond to adversity, and the impact you have on your team and the sport as a whole. Wilson's public reactions to her exclusion from the national team, her social media posts, and bitter comments have sparked conversations about what qualities are truly valued in today's game. It's become clear that the sport is shifting towards valuing integrity, resilience, and leadership just as much as raw talent. The next generation of players is leading this transformation, emphasizing character, teamwork, and professionalism. The future of women's basketball depends on those who demonstrate not only skill, but also a strong sense of sportsmanship and positive attitude. Players who inspire others through their actions and embody the true spirit of competition will shape the sport's next chapter. As the game evolves, it's increasingly about more than just individual accolades. It's about building a legacy rooted in respect, dedication, and authentic excellence. This new era is just beginning, and it's founded on the principles of genuine talent and strong character. The players who lead with integrity, handle setbacks with grace, and elevate their teams through their behavior and effort will be the ones who leave a lasting mark on the sport. Women's basketball is moving toward a brighter, more values-driven future, one where true greatness is defined by both skill and character.